Everything's chocolate today, guys. Everything's chocolate. Chin chin. I love chocolate, and there's no better way to show just how versatile it is than to throw a chocolate tasting party. My guests will love my Gianduja Souffle with a burst of hazelnut-flavored chocolate inside. Espresso and melted chocolate blended with coffee liqueur and sparkling Prosecco wine. I'm making panini sandwiches with melted chocolate and brie cheese. Get ready for a delicious day. We're having a chocolate tasting party. Italians know how to have fun with chocolate, like this, a souffle that uses a classic Italian combination, chocolate and hazelnut. This souffle has an unexpected bite in the middle of chocolate and hazelnut, and that combination in Italian is known as gianduja. It is so yummy. It's actually milk chocolate. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Usually I make my desserts with dark chocolate, but not for this dish. This dish, it's all about the milk chocolate, and the combination together is astounding, and it really does make the souffle so worth it. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're also gonna add a tablespoon of sugar, just like that, and a tablespoon of frangelico. Now the frangelico is what's gonna add that hazelnut, perfumey hazelnut bite to it. And usually in Italy, they use ground hazelnuts. But for this, I want to use the liqueur just because I want a nice, smooth filling. You just want to melt all of those things together in a double boiler. And when you bite into the souffle, you'll get that smooth, really mellow, hazelnutty flavor, which I just love. I'm going to take it off the heat. And I want to add 3 ounces of milk chocolate. So I've got these bars of milk chocolate, and you just want to break them up, just like this. Just break up the chocolate. So you just want to do it very lightly and just use the heat of the butter and the frangelico and the sugar to melt the chocolate. So now I'm going to put this in the freezer. All right, while that sits in the freezer and gets nice and hard, I am going to mix the second part of my ingredients, and we're still gonna be over the double boiler. We're gonna use a 1/4 cup of flour. You know, soufflés are super light, but you need a little structure in the souffle, and that's what the flour is gonna do. And 1 cup of milk, pour it right over the top. The milk adds a nice thickness to it, and a little bit of salt. You always add a little bit of salt to desserts. It just brings out the flavor in the dessert. And now, I'm just gonna put this over the double boiler and bring the heat to about medium. And we're gonna blend it with a hand blender. And you know, soufflés, they take a little work, they really do, but the payoff, I'm telling you, is fantastic. I am going to start with my eggs. I'm gonna take 4 eggs, but I have to separate them. So 1 egg at a time. Crack it, and it's important when you make desserts to use ingredients that are at room temperature, so everything's at the same temperature. It just makes for a smoother, lighter batter, especially with eggs. So we're just gonna separate the eggs. We're gonna add 1 yolk in here, and we're gonna do this 1 at a time. And you wanna keep whisking because you don't want the eggs to scramble. Okay, second egg is in. That's it with the eggs. So now, it's time to beat this for a while. You want it to sort of become like mayonnaise, the thickness of mayonnaise. It'll sort of change colors, get nice and thick. And it's gonna take about 5 or 6 minutes, so you gotta be patient. It's starting to thicken up. All right, we're just about there. There we go. And I'm ready to add the chocolate. 6 ounces of chocolate. The heat from the egg yolks is gonna melt the chocolate. You just wanna kind of break it up with your fingers. Mix that all together. And it thickens all up. It smells so good. I love the smell of melted chocolate. Okay, so while the rest of the chocolate melts in there, I am gonna start beating my egg whites. Now, we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Now, the cream of tartar is sort of the secret to keeping the egg whites nice and stable, so that when you add the thick batter into the egg whites don't collapse. All the air doesn't just come out of them. That's what helps it. So the cream of tartar, it's key. And here we go. And this takes a few minutes also. It's gonna take about 5 or 6 minutes for them to turn white. We'll go a little higher. You start to see all the white foam that starts to build on the top of the egg whites. That's all the air. Now we're rocking. Okay, so now, see, they've started to form small peaks. So now it's time to add the sugar. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. So we're gonna add it slowly. The sugar makes the egg whites glossy as well. They look really pretty. Again, a little bit at a time. Okay, so I've added all the sugar. I'm just gonna blend a little bit more until the egg whites form these stiff, beautiful peaks, and then I'm gonna show you how to put everything together.